Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So we saw that Errol Spence and Ryan Garcia kind of had a little back and forth, continued back and forth on Twitter yesterday, right? A fan, somebody, mentioned to Errol Spence. I guess Ryan Garcia was still talking about like what he would do to Errol Spence, right? And then somebody added Errol Spence and said something to the effect of Ryan, Earl would beat the shit out of Ryan, even if he was on Osterine, he still couldn't fuck with Errol Spence. And then Earl was like, I posted in the community, he was like, shit, I'll whoop his ass just on the strength of him popping dirty and disrespecting the sport. You feel me? And then they had their little back and forth. Earl was like, we can do it at, in Dallas at Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium at 154 or 160, either one. And Ryan Garcia said, let's run it. Let's do it. He said, I'll finish you. I'll do what Terrence Crawford should have did and finish you. You know what I'm saying? And he'll finish the job. Errol Spence came back with his jab, said, hey, we already seen you quit in front of millions. You feel what I'm saying? He said that, the only reason Tank didn't finish you because you quit. You took a knee like a hoe. And Ryan Garcia said, hey, his next fight, he wants it to be versus Errol Spence, and he gonna send an offer, and he gonna make Errol Spence duck him. Because he said that if Errol Spence don't take the fight next, then he ducked. So that's how Ryan Garcia talking right now. That's how Errol Spence is talking right now. The thing is that before we get into the nitty gritty, Ryan Garcia, we waiting on that B sample. That bitch pop dirty, which you pop dirty twice on Osterine. There's no allowable trace amount that you can have in your system for Osterine, right? So 9 times out of 10, that B sample gonna come back dirty, which is gonna have an suspension on the back end of that. So that whole Errol Spence and Ryan Garcia fighting this year is gonna be out the window if Ryan Garcia is suspended. But let's entertain it for now. The thing that I want to discuss in this video, is everybody looking at Errol Spence like he fooled now? It seemed like, not everybody, but it seemed like a lot of people is looking at Errol Spence like he fooled. Just throwing him away after the devastating loss to the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, Terrence Crawford, right? And it seems as though people are just looking at Errol Spence like he's done. He can't come back from that loss. He should retire. If you would have even thought about the possibility of this fight 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? Motherfuckers would have thought you was crazy to even think Ryan Garcia should even be in the same ring as Errol Spence. Now, people are entertaining it. They seen what Ryan Garcia did in the Devin Haney fight, even though he intentionally missed weight, preserved precious nutrients that his opponent did not leading up to the weigh-in, and then you pop dirty for performance enhancement drugs. People are still looking at Ryan Garcia like he's some monster even on that stuff. Cool. Waiting on the B sample, right? But it's like you wouldn't even have thought that this fight would be anywhere close to being competitive a few years ago. Now everybody looking at this fight and saying, hey, Ryan Garcia can go in there and destroy Errol Spence and end his career, retire him. Errol Spence is too slow. He's sluggish. He telegraphs his punches. He don't have no defense. A lot of people throwing these different jackets on Errol Spence as if this dude isn't a former unified champion. Had one of the best runs at welterweight in recent years. Has beat top flight fighters in one of the best divisions in the sport. One of the toughest guys in the sport. one of the strongest guys and can systematically break you down. He's systematically broken down bigger and more talented and skilled guys than Ryan Garcia, right? So when you look at that, when you break that down and you pay attention to how people are reacting to Errol Spence coming back to fight anybody, it seems like, you know, fans and different fighters are looking at Errol Spence like he food. Is Errol Spence viewed as food now? I think this is exactly what Errol Spence needed. If this type of energy that Errol Spence is getting right now, Ryan Garcia believing that he can go up to 154, 160 and stop Errol Spence and win that fight, the way fans are talking about Errol Spence just discarding him, if this right here don't unlock Errol Spence and take him to another level inside the ring, then that means everybody was right. That means Errol Spence should retire. Because Errol Spence is the type of guy, bruh, he is a dog mentally. He's the type of guy that if you say he can't do something, he gonna want to go prove you wrong. You feel me? This guy, when he's on top of his game, is one of the pound for pound best fighters in the sport. And I mean, if you just look at stylistically, you look at Ryan Garcia being orthodox, predominantly having just a left hook. Let's keep it 100. He beat Devin Haney with one punch, a left hook that Devin Haney could not get out the way of. And you look at Errol Spence being a more overall complete fighter who is a southpaw, a bigger guy who's a southpaw, who has one of the best jabs in the sport, with the Ryan being orthodox, throwing that left hook, Errol Spence offsetting that easily with the jab. Now there is a chance that Ryan Garcia can feint and get Errol Spence to overcommit and then time that left hook and throw the left hook over the southpaw jab. That's possible. But we know that Errol Spence, he gonna keep that motherfucker in your face. Especially if you don't got a great jab of your own like Terrence Crawford had to negate Errol Spence's jab from the southpaw stance. Ryan Garcia would have to do that from the orthodox stance and show us a jab that we really ain't seen before and be able to throw the jab and then hook off the jab. That's probably going to be Ryan Garcia's best shit. If this fight were to happen, that's going to be his best shit, to throw the hook off the jab. That's going to be his best shit. But if Errol Spence's jab is getting there first and it's devastating, and then he bringing the left hand behind that, and then you get Ryan Garcia on the ropes in the trenches, you still think Ryan Garcia gonna get the better of those exchanges? I don't know. I think it's worth seeing. If Ryan Garcia can get past this drug cheat shit, which I don't think he's gonna do. You pop dirty before and after the fight, that B sample is 9 times out of 10 is gonna come back dirty. And we won't be seeing Ryan Garcia for the rest of 2024. But if somehow he escapes the jaws of the drug cheat allegations, and the fact these really ain't allegations, it's a fact that he failed. So if he can escape this, I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Garcia get in the ring with Errol Spence. And like Errol Spence said, just on the strength of him popping dirty and disrespecting the sport, I'll whoop his ass. I think a lot of fans would love to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's a lot of people that don't like Errol Spence. They want to see Errol Spence get his ass whooped again. But I'll tell you like this. It's only one Terrence Bud Crawford on this planet. It's only one Terrence Bud Crawford. And he don't just got a left hook. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How y'all feel about Errol Spence and Ryan Garcia? We talked about this fight before, but now it seems like there's more and more of a story being built behind this fight. And it's starting to make more sense money-wise to be able to put on a pay-per-view Cowboys Stadium, Spence versus Garcia, Garcia versus Spence type of fight. A spectacle. An event. And to a lot of people, a very competitive match. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.